Well, hello, Leo's the lion. Leo's the lion. So, my queens and my kings, we start off the month of January with the Queen of Swords energy next to the world. Now, the Queen of Swords is the energy that comes in, well, she just obliterates anything in her life that doesn't serve her highest good. And that's a hard thing to do, okay? But it appears that some of you, either by force, because usually Leos, being a fixed sign, it's not like them to just cut people out their lives. They'll ride or die. So someone must have done some really messed up stuff for you guys to come to this energy, okay? So the energy that I see here, though, is there had to be some form of a relationship that had to end. It had to go. It reached its completion. It could have been possibly with an air sign, a Gemini, Libra, or an Aquarius. Also, a Gemini, Libra, or an Aquarius is playing a key part of your the new world that you're moving into. So anyway, unfortunately or fortunately, some of you are moving towards your future with completing a cycle with someone that just kind of left you feeling constricted and confused. And now that you've placed that boundary, you're coming out of confusion. They may not even know where you live. You may be so serious with creating distance from this person for right now that you could have potentially blocked them. They could be blocked. So the Queen cut something out. The world is something completing, but something also happening with a new start. Some of you could have purchased a home, or you're in a new home. And some people don't know where you live, or you've blocked yourself. Right now, you're just starting something new, and you need to have a clean mind. You don't want any nonsense with it. You got to do what you got to do, and you're coming out of confusion, and this was the best decision for you as of right now. So, you know, it appears that you made a decision to no longer have, communications of love, or no longer communicate with perhaps a water sign. This could be any sign, but I just see the Page of Cups there. So you made the decision to no longer communicate, which was crowning the reading, with someone, because it just left you with there was just a lot of confusion there. And in the near future, you turn your back on the past, and you're so excited because with the Page of Cups, for me, there's just a teeny weeny bit of depression with it. So you were outside of your element dealing with someone who could have potentially had a lot of water in their charts, or they could have had a drinking problem, whatever. It just kind of took the fire out of you. But you're a ride or die kind of person, so you were willing to ride with them, but baby, come on. I mean, you're trying to drive the car, and you're running into trees, and you're running into other cars, and you're just reckless. I got to get out of this car. Come on now, don't do me like that. And they just kept on doing you like that, so they left you no choice but to put your cape on, turn directions, and move towards your own element. And you're standing erect. The other way, looking at this person, your hands on your hip, you're trying to understand what's that fishy smell, something fishy. You say this, you say that, then you do these backhanded things. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. For some of you, this had to happen. This had to happen. Because now that you're back in your element, a lot of things that was confusing you is now becoming clear. Okay, you're coming out of confusion. You're coming out of not knowing what was going to happen one day to the next. You're moving towards stability, but you don't know this. It appears that someone is coming with whom you can establish stability. I personally don't like the Ten of Cups. People call it ultimate fulfillment, but it's ultimate boring to me. I had a Ten of Cups for 10 years. I was so bored. I didn't know what to do. I was so bored. I was so miserably bored. But I see the Page of Wands here, so it's not going to be a completely boring situation. But I think you held on to someone from your past for a long time. And you guys are just really reaching a completion, and it's going to free you to kind of move on, like no longer dedicate your heart or dedicate yourself to something that's no longer serving you, because your future shows you really, like I said, getting back into your element, getting your head clear. Somebody could have moved, you could have just purchased some real estate, maybe you moved into your first house, your first apartment. I see you becoming very happy, Leo. Okay, I see a contented and rewarding family life. Because I see, your emotional and material needs are going to be met. And I see trustworthy relations. Because this right here, although, it was an offer of love, it wasn't trustworthy. And it's in your past. So Leos, how do you see yourself? You see yourself in a minute. This is really interesting because as I meditated on the card, you kind of see yourself getting emotionally free from maybe some type of situation in the past where you felt a lot of loyalty to, and it's like you guys are reaching a closure that is going to enable you to perhaps stabilize your emotions and think about what's next. What does God have that's next for you? Now, some of you didn't really want a relationship for a while, even though you acted like you did. Some of you are going to say, I'm going to liberate myself, at least for the month of January, from this individual and from my loyalty, because you guys have a loyalty that I don't think people understand. There's things that can break that loyalty, though. But it's amazing, and it's so wonderful, and it's just something that I don't see very often. I know some people call themselves faithful and loyal, and then they, go screw other people. It's like, how are you? Okay, anyway. So I'm not saying that Leos won't do that, but I'm just saying that how you are seeing yourself in this particular situation is that you don't have to be loyal to this person who doesn't deserve your loyalty anymore. You have a lot to give emotionally, and you're starting to understand and realize that, and you don't have to put up with this. I'm somebody too. Yeah, I think that person was extraordinarily fine, in some cases, but hey, there's a whole bunch of fine people out there. So you also could have been affected by things outside of your control, since we have a double Eight of Swords reverse, right? Some of you could have maybe been a part of the hurricane, or some type of event outside of your control that got your emotions a little wild here, and you see yourself becoming emotionally stable. Some of you also see yourself as being kind of hoish. You better leave me alone, baby. Whether it's a dildo, a trido, a butterfly, or six, baby, whatever it is, you feel that you are free. You just feel like, emotionally, you're stabilizing yourself because you're letting go of maybe a long-term situation, because the world is pretty strong. I mean, there are a whole bunch of other cards that could come up to represent, somebody getting out of a situation, but the world represents maybe someone that was very important to you, who maybe you've known for a long time, a soulmate connection, something that kind of has something fixed to it. So your emotions, you see yourself stabilizing your emotions, because, there is just no victory with dealing with that particular person. You might have been dealing with the narcissist. It's like, I feel some of you tried everything you can. Some of you were dealing with the fire sign, and it was just like, it was all about him. He was just about being victorious for himself. And you're looking down at the emotions trying to, what about us? And they're like, what about me? And so it was like, you know what? I gotta go on. And so you free yourself emotionally because you realize there could have never been no victory in a situation like that. And then somebody new comes along. The King of Cups. So now we're gonna have to see who the hell that is. What you talking about, baby? What you talking about? Because, you know, for me personally, when I see the Nine of Cups, but y'all need to go on to Vimeo and get this extended reading because we about to finish this right now. Right now. Because, honey, this, y'all need to hear this. So go ahead and go to sunshinetarot.net or to Vimeo. And let's finish this reading there, darlings, okay? If not, God bless you. God bless you and Happy New Year and Merry Christmas.